Standing by the shoulder to be mobilized, facing across the table, flex the client's shoulder to 90 degrees. Then flex the elbow to 90 degrees and rotate the shoulder medially so that the forearm is perpendicular to the trunk. Foot hand supports the forearm at the wrist to prevent accidental contact with the breast or face. Head hand holds upper arm just proximal to the elbow. Circumduct the shoulder widely in both directions. With client's elbow flexed, shoulder laterally rotated and abducted to 90 degrees, so fingers point above the head. Horizontally adduct it to about 45-degree angle to the table. Foot hand supports below the lateral distal humerus. Head hand is placed on the medial distal humerus opposite the foot hand, with fingers of opposing hands pointing in opposite directions. Traction the humerus distally. Then maintain traction while lowering the arm towards the floor. Repeat with the arm moved from 90 degrees to 135 degrees away from the trunk in the coronal plane or closer to the head. Repeat the mobilization after the stretch is finished. Repeat the mobilization. Start with the arm over the head, therapist facing down the table. Both hands grasp proximal to the elbow, fingertips facing opposite directions, outside hand on the bottom, inside hand on top. Ask client to laterally flex their neck to the opposite side. Traction to the humerus distally. Alternately move the arm closer to the head medially and closer to the table, stair-stepping to the end of the stretch. Repeat the mobilization after the stretch is finished. Stand by the shoulder to be mobilized, facing across the table. Flex the client's shoulder to 90 degrees, then flex the elbow to 90 degrees, and rotate the shoulder medially so that the forearm is perpendicular to the trunk. Foot hand supports the forearm at the wrist to prevent accidental contact with the breast or face. Head hand holds upper arm just proximal to the elbow. Circumduct the shoulder widely in both directions. Standing on opposite side of the table from the rhomboids to be addressed, reach across and grasp the opposite arm, bringing it across the body towards you. Head hand grasps the proximal forearm just distal to the elbow as foot hand reaches across and around to the back. Fingers curl to grasp the medial border of the scapula. Simultaneously traction the humerus towards you and towards the ceiling as you move the scapula away from the spine. You may stop at the point that the torso starts to roll towards you, or continue with the stretch of the upper torso by continuing further. Repeat the mobilization after the stretch is finished. If size and/or strength disparities exist, such that stretch cannot be effectively or safely done as above, stand on the same side as the rhomboids to be addressed. Foot hand grasps proximal forearm just distal to the elbow, flexing the shoulder to 90 degrees and rotating it medially so that the forearm is perpendicular to the trunk with the elbow flexed. The head hand reaches under the back, curling fingers to the slide under the medial border of the scapula as the foot hand tractions toward the ceiling and across the body. The head hand pulls the scapula away from the spine. Repeat the mobilization after the stretch is finished.